if our state is serious about education, they need to be serious about our infrastructure. And meeting the needs of rising school systems. While we are the largest and continue to grow the most, there are other school systems throughout the state that continue to grow as well. And so they are really going to have to put their best foot forward in figuring out a way to continue to help to sustain our schools. We tried to do it all on our own, but the reality is we can't, and we need their help. There's so many other items that go into when a school is redone as well. I know the Seneca Valley area very well because I represent that area. I live about 1.5 miles away from the school. And I know that when people are making decisions about where they send their child for high school, there are a lot of folks who opt for specific programs because they don't want to send their children to a school that has infrastructure issues. And Principal Cohen is doing a great job there. But, I've said it before, and Mr. Song and I've had this conversation about trying to hold a school together with spit and glue. I mean, it's been quoted in the Post before. We've said this before, so it's not as though we don't want these things to happen and we're trying to do it. The challenge is that what Councilmember Navarro had espoused, if the money's not there, what do we do? The whole thing about all of this is that change is hard, right? And it's uncomfortable. One of the benefits, I think, that comes about when you have some sort of change in a process is that if people understand the need, and then they understand how that change came about and what it now means for them, they feel a little bit more comfortable with it. It's still always going to be uncomfortable for change. So if we're looking at, coming up with new ways in which we're going to continue to address and meet the needs of our changing school system, both changing growth, diversity, needs, a whole bunch of things, people get it. And they do understand. So nobody can argue about the fact our school system isn't the same when I was in school as I'm now approaching my 25th high school anniversary this year. It's insane. But it's in thinking about Montgomery Blair then to where it is now, night and day. My other colleagues are like, oh God. No, I mean, it's something you don't think, but when I think about how much our system has changed, how much neighborhoods have changed. I was driving down Lay Hill Road the other day and looking at new developments that are coming up where I grew up and saying, that all means something. And it certainly is to where no one can say that there isn't justification for the change. But if they understand how we're going to go about doing it and accomplishing it and addressing the needs that go along with that change, that's the key, right? And I think that, again, from planning board's perspective, that's something that they've always done and always been challenged with as you look at areas that continue to grow and revitalize, whether it's Wheaton or Montgomery Village, and you see, the opportunity that's there. The great thing is that we're all on the same page. We're all working together to make sure that we continue to provide the best for our residents, to provide the best for our kids, for our school system, because it matters so much to us and our success. And so I think that that's why this was so important. And I think that, again, what I'd like to do is ask my colleagues and Ms. McGuire to certainly once FACT has reconvened, I'd love to get another update as to where we are and certainly have another briefing to give us a status because, while, again, we want to respect the process of the FACT Assessment Committee, we certainly want to make sure that we're understanding of that process and how it is going to work itself out so that we can then be able to espouse what that means to our constituents. And so I think that this, again, has been a great OLO report, as they always are. And commendations to Mr. Seiler, who heads up our Office of Legislative Oversight, who continues to, again, in my conversation with Mr. Bowers, Montgomery County will always be one of the best places to live. Will always be. And the key is that we stay at the forefront. And our Office of Legislative Oversight, and thank you to the great work of Aaron and Stephanie on this one, but the entire office continues to innovate ways in which we can continue to do that. And that's what's important, And so working hand in hand with our school system, with Parks and Planning, with my colleagues here on the council, we're going to continue to make sure we've got one of the best systems in the nation, and folks will continue to be proud of the great things that we are doing and look to us as leaders as they do now.